Hey Naturals, welcome back to Go Natural English, where we speak English fluently, confidently, like a native, naturally. Today, we are going to learn how to win friends through English. Yes, how to be more likable and how to connect with other people who also speak English. So this is going to be really a life-changing lesson. So I hope you'll stay around and watch the whole thing. Now, if this is your first time here, then welcome. I'm Gabby, the founder and host here at Go Natural English, and our amazing Go Natural English team teacher, Hale, is going to teach this lesson. So, Hale, take it away.
Hi guys, it's me, Hale, and I have a question for you. Do you ever have trouble finding someone to practice English with? I'm not talking about a teacher or a language tutor, someone that you pay to help you with your English, but I'm talking about just everyday language practice. Because this is a major problem that people can have, especially beginners, is that they can't find someone in everyday conversation to practice English with. And there's a reason for this. A lot of people, a lot of native English speakers don't want to speak to beginner speakers because the conversation is so limited. You need to make people really want to talk to you. You need to make them want to be your friend, not just someone they're helping with English. Today I'm going to talk to you about how to make anyone like you when you talk to them in English. So first, a little background. What I'm going to tell you today is based on a very popular book. The book is called How to Win Friends and Influence People by an author named Dale Carnegie. Now, this book was written over 80 years ago. It's a classic in business and self-help. It has sold over 15 million copies worldwide. So it is a time-tested book. So the tips I'm going to give you today are directly from this book. The author, Dale Carnegie, was born into poverty in a small farm in the United States. And using the techniques that he writes about in this book, he was able to bring his family out of poverty and become very successful. And this was back in the 1930s. This was long ago, over 80 years ago. So I'm going to share with you 6 tips from Dale Carnegie on how to make anyone like you. Tip number 1, be genuinely interested in the other person. Now, sometimes we just want to practice English. We want to get the hours in of English practice so we can become fluent. But the other person is going to be on to you. They might know that you just want to practice English with them and that you aren't really interested. So you need to ask yourself, are you genuinely interested in this person? Do you like to spend time with them? If you weren't practicing English, would you want to spend time with them? And be brutally honest with yourself, because if you're not genuinely interested in the other person, they're going to know and they're not going to want to spend time with you and talk to you in English. So if they're not interested in them, that's okay. There are billions of people in the world and many of them speak English, and you can find someone that you're interested in. You can find them online, in your town. Just be sure that you're genuinely interested in this person. Now, tip number 2. This one's easy. Tip number 2 is smile. This one is pretty self-explanatory, but a smile is like an invitation to friendship. So just be smiling when you're talking and when you're during the conversation. Now, you don't want to be creepy about it. You don't want to look like this. That would be creepy. So have like a natural smile, like this. Tip number 3 is remember their name. Now, this should be an obvious one, but a lot of people forget it. A lot of people don't remember names, and they say, oh, I'm bad with names. Now, I used to be the same way. I used to tell everyone, oh, I'm bad with names, I don't remember your name. But really, it's a decision. If you want to remember names, first you need to commit to being a person that can remember names. Make the commitment. And now, when you're talking to a person, the way to remember their name, there's a few tricks here. Number one, you can repeat their name. So when you're in the conversation, repeat their name a few times, and then that will help put it in your memory. And also another way to do it is to associate their face with their name. So this is a memory trick of association. And so when you hear their name, think of an image that that name reminds you of, and then in your mind, associate their face with that image. And this trick, when you see their face again, you will think of the image which will remind you of their name. So those are some quick tips on how to remember names. But remembering names is an important part if you want someone to like you. They want to feel special. Tip number 4 is be a good listener. Now, this one can be hard when you are a beginner English speaker because you are trying to think of the next thing to say in the conversation instead of actually listening very carefully to what the person is saying. And this is because you don't want to be caught off guard when your time to speak comes, that you don't know what to say and you feel dumb. So I know I've been there when I'm learning other languages. I try to plan what I'm going to say while the other person is talking. And the problem with this is you haven't really heard what they said. And you haven't showed that you're interested in what they said in your body language and in your response. So a way to counteract this is to be an active listener. And being an active listener, there's like several ways. There's the body language. You can nod along while they're talking, let them know that you're listening. And also you can repeat back what they said to you when they're finished talking to show that you understood. Not just repeat exactly, but to acknowledge what they said and then repeat it back in your own words. Now this will show them that you were listening, and it will also help you express yourself in English because you will get to re-summarize what someone else just told you in English. So it's a win-win situation. Now, tip number 5 is about talking in terms of other people's interests. So now this one can be a little bit counterintuitive for a beginner English speaker because we often learn how to talk about yourself, learn how to talk about your background, talk about your interests, talk about your job, talk about where you're from. And that's all very important. You should definitely know how to say that. But when you're trying to get someone to like you because you want them to be your English speaking partner or your friend, both preferably, then you need to really show more interest in what they're saying. And this is part of it's being an active listener, which was tip number 4. But now we need to actually talk and develop further about what they're interested in. And you might say, but I don't have the vocabulary right now to talk about that. And that's true. That might be true. Maybe right now you don't have the vocabulary. So this conversation is step 1. And then step 2 is to learn the vocabulary about what they're interested in. And then in your next conversation with them, you can continue developing that conversation about their interests. Because people really like to talk about what they're interested in. And these tips are about how to make people like you when you're speaking with them in English. So this is a great one. And tip number 6, now this is the culmination of all the tips. Tip number 6 is make the other person feel important. So if you followed tip 1 through 5, the other person should feel super important right now and want to be around you. Because when you make someone feel important, they want to spend time with you. They're going to want to talk to you, they're going to want to be around you, and then you're going to be able to practice your English with them. It's a win-win situation. Everybody gets something. People get a friend, people get to practice English, everyone wins, like I said. Now, these 6 tips, they don't just have to be used for practicing English. You can use them in your everyday life, in your native language. That's the beauty of these tips. They can be used for anything to get people to want to be around you and spend time with you and talk to you. So get out there and practice them today. I want you to think right now, who is the one person today that I can practice this on? and then go do it. And also, I want you to comment below and tell us which of these tips was most surprising. Maybe you've heard tips about how to make people like you and be more sociable, but were any of these 6 tips a big surprise for you? Let us know below. But most importantly, get out there and put them into action. You can do this. You can make people want to talk to you when you speak English. Go get it.
This was an awesome lesson. If you enjoyed it, then make sure to subscribe, hit the button right down there, and make sure to turn on notifications. Now, if you would like to learn more with Go Natural English, join our Fluency Challenge happening this week. You can sign up by clicking right down there and going to gonaturalenglish.com/challenge. I hope to see you there. Bye for now.